Hi guys, this is Greg coming at you for Kingston Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm going to do a deck profile on Karakuri Machina Geargia. Now this is the deck I'd intended to run instead of Sephinor, but unfortunately I left it at home, so, oh well, what are you going to do? So I'll just get to it nice and quick. Lots of monsters. We have, of course, the standard Machina engine. We have triple gear frame as a searcher, triple fortress as a beater, and a single copy of cannon so that you have a single dropper to revive fortress if you need to. And we have the Geargias. We have 3 armor. It's a staple. At 3, you just get a lot of searching off and it's really, really good. Then you have triple arsenal. Because it lets you attack, then special summon Geargia armor out of your deck, which will in turn provide you more searching. And then you have Trip Geargia Accelerator. When this card goes to the graveyard, you can get a Geargia back from your graveyard, or you can just use it for Synchro or Xyz summoning, since it's a free special summon. And then we have a couple of Karakuris, just a couple mind you. We have 2 Kuik, because it's a 1700 attack non-tuner that can revive other Karakuris from the graveyard. There's only a couple mind you, but we have 2 Watchdogs, because this is how you make Barredo for the key combo, and then a single Strategist as part of that same combo. Everybody knows this. You get 2 non-tuners out, you summon a Watchdog, Synchro for a Barredo, its effect special summons another Watchdog out of your deck, you Synchro summon the second Barredo, summon Nishipachi, draw 2 cards, and then the last monsters in the deck are 4 staples, not staplers. 2 Maxis and 2 Effect Veilers. I pretty much run these in any sort of standard deck I have, just because I'd rather have them than not have them. On to spells, it's pretty basic stuff. You got 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, you've got 2 Pot of Duality, you got 2 Forbidden Lands. I run Forbidden Lands because of Machina Fortress. It's really good with that. It's also really good with the Karakuri Synchros because you're able to push for game with them. You have your Monster Reborn, your Heavy Storm, your Pot of Avarice, because you will go through your monsters like crazy, Dark Hole, and Book of Moon. And then the last 3 cards in the decks are just Traps, 2 Solemn Warning, and Bottomless, clearly just engineered to stop the opponent's monsters. And those 3 traps were enough to help me get past decks like Mermails in the week before I actually played Sephinor. The extra deck is pretty standard stuff. I was just experimenting around with it. You'll want to have a Zen Mines, just because you can. Maestroke I find is very good, but, you know, there are only certain... I'm just going to point out the things that you really should have in the deck. First 2 are a pair of Gear Gigant Cross. Yes, it is supposed to be read as Cross. It's great. You can search out any of the Geargia monsters, you can search out gear frames, you can search out any of the Karakuri monsters. You can pretty much search out anything in the deck. This thing really nests itself out over time. It does usually end up staying on the field long enough for me to get both of them off. And then the other thing you're going to want to have, you must have the 2 Barredos. And you can have like 2 Berets as well. I'm just showing off my ultimates right there. You can pretty much make whatever else you want in the extra deck. You just... To do the Karakuri combo I mentioned, you obviously need to have 2 copies of this guy. If you want to run 3, that's fine. I personally would rather say take a Scrap Dragon. The rest of the extra deck, I was just running some fairly generic stuff, you know. I got a Utopia, I got a Black Ship of Corn. This thing is awesome! I've got a Leviathan Dragon. I don't really know why, because it's really hard to make in this deck, but oh well. I got the 2 Barredos, as I mentioned. I only think I ever summoned 1 at a time, and really by the point you've got 2 Barredos out, do you really need a Beret? The answer, yes. Yes, you do. Black Rose, because it's a staple. Catastor. Yes, you can make it. You can... I mean, it's not very common that you're going to make it, right? They're going to make it with a Reborn monster, or with, say, you know, Maxi and Strategist, or a Spare Effect Veiler and a level 4. And a Stardust. I know you're not running Starlight Road. I did actually Synchro summon it for it a couple times. because it's just a decent monster. A little bit weak for its level, but its effect is really worth it, and it forces the opponent to actually do something about it. And it makes for some safer plays. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for Karakuri Machina Geargia. This is still a prototype. I'm going to be playing around with it a little bit. But, you know, it's a fun deck. It's fairly consistent. It goes through itself really quickly. There are games where if it really drags out, I'll be ending with like 10 cards left in my deck. And it fills the hand like crazy as well. There were times when I was having to discard monsters from my hand just because I had too many. It's a really good deck. It's not Mermail, it's not Fire Fist, like it's not that level. But it's certainly able to compete if you have the decent skill. And so that's all for that, guys. This has been Greg, providing for Kingston Yu-Gi-Oh! Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and keep tuned in for some better videos. Or not better videos, for more videos. Yeah.